Hey, I gotta re-upload this because Netflix ended up blocking my other video. Well, my first video, the first time I posted this, for a clip that was a little too long. So we're just gonna cut the clip. I'm just gonna re-upload it without that clip, and hopefully they don't block my video again. All right, let's get it. The battle between good and evil is a tale as old as time itself. Over the years, there have been many heroes and many villains, some real, some fake, and some just all out mysterious. Most shows and movies focus on the hero and his journey to defeat evil. Some shows and movies play the middle and leave you thinking who's really the bad guy. If you're into those kind of shows, I strongly recommend Death Note or Code Geass, or even Money Heist. That's pretty good. Nonetheless, Netflix Originals has mixed reviews, but I discovered this show called Super Crooks, and while this show aims to be kind of goofy and rather comedic, there are some really cool and deep sub-stories, for lack of a better word, going on during this series. Like how would the world react if superheroes were real? How would the world handle them? Hell, how would the police feel about them? Anyways, I'm going to go over 2 episodes of Super Crooks, giving my opinion on them, and hopefully you either agree, learn something new, or will be encouraged to watch the show. So the first episode we're going to go over is episode 3, Man Mountain. So Man Mountain begins in the middle of a robbery attempt. Their plan is rather simple to avoid getting caught. Instead of robbing one store, they will rob several stores simultaneously, and only spending 1 minute each in each store. So far it's going well, and our protagonist is optimistic.
Takes me back to when I was a kid.
So something I forgot to mention is they're robbing in San Francisco because there are no heroes there, which is odd because San Francisco is a huge city, which brings up a good question of if superheroes were real, where would they be? What would they prioritize? Would Spider-Man strictly stay in New York? Would Batman only protect Philadelphia? Would he make a trip to San Francisco to protect, to solve a crime? Would he go to Georgia? Great questions. It's interesting, and another interesting thing is how would the police feel about the superheroes? Would they be like the operator?
Requesting superhero backup.
Seek their help as much as possible, or would they be like this guy and have a thing to prove against them, have like a little vendetta?
All right, fellas, keep on their tails. The San Francisco police don't need any help from superheroes.
Sometimes cops and bounty hunters don't get along, although they have similar goals. So what's the interaction between Deputy Wilson and Green Lantern?
My grandson knows everything there is about the Union of Justice. I'm sure mine is their biggest fan.
Fuck the Union of Justice!
So after this funny little joke, the Man Mountain shows up, and we have this cool little chase scene. But something that's always forgotten is look at how much damage Man Mountain makes. He's destroying cars, houses, streets, pretty much all kinds of infrastructure. All that for $50,000 to $100,000 in jewelry. At this point, he's doing more harm than good. It's safe to assume this area wasn't evacuated in the span of 10 minutes, so he definitely crushed a handful of people. Honestly, in real life, as soon as Blastoise made that ice bridge, the cops would have stopped and sent another unit to cut them off instead of going up this ice bridge or whatever, or let them go and have the FBI track them down later. But this is Super Crooks, not CSI, so it makes sense. But I have to mention, there is a show or a movie or a game when the public turns against the superhero because he causes too much collateral damage. I don't know what the name of that movie, show, or game is, but if you know it, tell me, and maybe I'll review it. Anyways, back to the show. They defeat Man Mountain pretty easy and in a funny way, but then again, Man Mountain's superpower is, he becomes a behemoth and kind of, basically he's a beast titan and his skin is hard and, he's regressed to a Neanderthal. Anyways, though, the rubber ball shows up and he brings up something I pointed to in the intro. How would superheroes react to fame? Would people become superheroes to impress women? Would it get to them, and vice versa? I mean, if being a superhero means you get a shot at Pokimane, Cardi B, or Jung, you know what I'm saying? Most of y'all are taking that chance. But then there's the arrogance. When we see this in athletes and celebrities, but sometimes it's cool to see it apply to heroes, you know? Some athletes are kind of douchebags, but hey, they're talented.
That's Rubber Ball.
Rubber ball?
Hey, great looking smile. I sent the photo to my phone. If you're ever in trouble, call me anytime.
So they defeat Rubber Ball, which is rather insignificant, except for he's hurt by Johnny's lightning attack, which is weird because rubber doesn't conduct electricity. But then again, these heroes are part human, and humans need water to live. We're a majority water, so maybe that's how it works. I don't know. They beat him, all right. Then they are brought to this hero that is kind of built like Captain America, and his name is the title of next episode.
Morning, gentlemen. Time to wake up and seize the day.
Top of the morning, 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 top of the...
So this is where the writer gets clever, all right? The show at this point only has 13, well, yeah, the season's only 13 episodes long, and the show itself is only 13 episodes long, but, you know, in each event, like the robbery, takes 2 to 3 episodes. I mean, this is episode 4, and it isn't even the main plot or even the rising action of the show. It has taken 4 episodes. So how do you show off multiple superpowers or a multitude of superpowers without either having 2 more seasons or having the protagonist fight 6 different heroes in 1 episode? Well, that's how you get the Praetorian. The Praetorian gets a random superpower, and it's undisclosed how long these powers last. Or like, is he stuck with it for a day? Is it a few hours? Does it change every time he shuffles his deck? I don't know. The only thing disclosed is that nobody knows what power he's going to get until he gets it, including himself, making him virtually unpredictable. But let's see how our friends handle him.
Beaten to death. Crushed to death. Kicked to death.
So after this a nice little beatdown, the Praetorian spares them. Turns out he didn't actually spare them. Casey, who's Johnny's girlfriend, did. Her superpower is she can give people illusions. In real life, that would be the most powerful ability on the planet, and she used that to finesse him. Now, this isn't the end of the episode, but it is the end of what I wanted to review. When it comes to shows, you know, I need you to do one of 2 things to get me hooked. Bring a scenario that gives me like a new layer of thinking, a new thought process, you know, gives me a new perspective on something. Or you need to make me think, how the heck are they going to pull this off? And outside of the villain POV, it doesn't really do the first one. This show isn't going to have you in deep thought like Death Note or Code Geass, but it does do the second one rather well. It's hard to predict how they will get out of situations because the show shows you early they're not afraid to have our protagonist fail, which I adore. Also, this perspective of a villain, at least from what I know, has never been explored. Recently we had the Joker movie, which was a smash hit and whatnot, a really good movie, but Joker is a super villain, okay? Besides the superpowers these guys have, they're just low-life crooks. Outside of video games and subplots, I've never really seen villains rob a store, you know what I'm saying? And if they do, normally you're the one beating them up or watching the plan get foiled. So it's unique, like, how does a low-level villain feel, you know, plan a robbery? How do you fight a superhero when he shows up? And these aren't like stereotypical Hollywood powers, like
Spider-Man
is you know, he has crazy agility, he's a super acrobat, you know, and superhuman strength, and Superman, who's just practically invulnerable, you know. It's like, oh, it's a dude made of rubber, you know? How do you fight a damn dodgeball? How do you fight a guy who 1 second he has fire breath and the next he can teleport? This show isn't like a certified hood classic or a banger, but it's a good show, and the basis of it, you know, the basis that it operates on is rather awesome and deserves some praise. It would be nice to see another show tackle this perspective in, you know, maybe a more serious way or a better way, you know what I mean? But until then, let me know how y'all feel about Super Crooks, if you've seen it or if this is the first time you've ever heard of it. If you have Netflix, are you gonna watch it? I think it's rather interesting. It has a few twists and turns in there that were unexpected. But yeah, that's all I have to say about it. Hopefully I'll get another one of these reviews out soon. But until we meet in the comments, envy no man, because we know we up next. Sponsored by Atari, and